Yeah, when we get off the line here, can you just give Carlo a shout at Performance Heating and Air? Yeah, the office is I don't know, it's starting to feel a little not right. I think we need a service here. Yeah, it's a little cool. All right? Yeah. All right. All right, man, bye. Oh man, it is that time of year, isn't it? Starting to get a little bit on the chilly side, but I gotta tell you, for November, what the heck is this? 17th, 18th? Now I lose all track of time. 17th. Welcome to Season 2, Episode 46 of Niagara 411 Live with Sterry. That is me. We are fueled by Gale's Gas Bars. We are powered by WeeStream. We'll be talking more about that with the man behind the camera in just a couple of minutes. Also, we partner with Nick at Niagara 411. We thank all of you that are contributors to some of the content that we do here, and we'll be talking more about that right off the bat of the show today. Carlo and his gang at Performance Heating and Air, thank you for sponsoring us. Also, Verge Insurance, we are ensconced in the lovely window at Fiddler's Poorhouse, and we are about to get Season 2, Episode 46 underway. Come on in and join us. Get yourself settled down for the next hour and a half, because Niagara, this is all about you. And we have a great opportunity for you today, because we have actually no particular scheduled guests. It doesn't happen too often, but this is an opportunity for you to just weigh in on whatever's been on your mind for the last week. If you want to get it off your chest, get it out of your mind, through your mouth, this is a place to be. We'll catch you in 30 seconds. You know, this is a place that makes me feel like I've actually come home every week. I don't know what it is. Kevin and I have chatted about it. Kevin Jack, ladies and gentlemen, on the right side of your screen, executive producer of Niagara 411 Live with Sterry, co-founder of WeeStream, along with Mr. Schram. I always want to say Schram. I know enough, but anyway. WeeStream, great technology, fabulous, and we're going to be talking more about that as the time goes by, because Kevin, you were saying that your business as a live streaming company that does things like no one else does it across the country is finally starting to get its legs back under them with this COVID aftermath thing. And I know we've got some numbers going up, and we'll talk about that too. But it's nice to see some blood flowing again. Right?
It is, and we'll show you some of the footage later on, but last weekend, WeeStream was up in Alliston at Nottawasaga Inn, if anybody's been up there, and it was a showcase of the next generation of Olympians. Yeah. Female hockey players from Ontario and Quebec. It was a Central Canada challenge, the absolute best of the best of female hockey players that are on the cusp of NCAA scholarships, and then, of course, national team and international competitions. It was really cool to be involved in that.
Super. And not to put too fine a point on it, people have short memories, but we can remember all too well the time, not that long ago, when these events didn't happen. Not only weren't they streamed, or not only were they not available to be seen, they just didn't happen. And now it's just it's so enlightening and energizing, Kevin, to see these things actually taking place again, people actually gathering again, sports and social clubs and things of that nature starting to get a little bit of blood moving through the veins again.
Yeah, and parents are happy as well, as gymnastics comes on board with the competitions, and volleyball returning to competitions as well. So I feel for all those athletes, all those up-and-coming people that haven't been able to compete over the last year and a half since COVID. Finally get to travel to Burlington and London and Windsor and Oakville and stuff like that to compete against other people.
To take it to the world, because because this is a global, yes, we are about Niagara, in Niagara, for Niagara, etc. But we are also a global communicator. We are a global family. And anybody that denies the fact that we are connected globally, or that a butterfly flaps its wings in Japan and causes monsoons in California, whatever, people that deny that are denying reality, because we are really connected globally. This show, however, while it is connected globally, is as centric as possible in Niagara. That was the whole concept of the show, Niagara 411 Live. And our partner, well, sort of content partner, I guess is a better way to explain it. Our resource partner is not too tough to figure out, is Niagara 411. It is a Facebook news and information site run by our friend Nick. Hey Nick, how you doing? Always have to say hi to Nick's mom. We know you're tuning in. It was a pleasure to see you in here at Fiddler's a few weeks ago. Hope to see you again sometime soon. But here's the deal. When this show began, it was on another platform, which is still available to see the show on. It was
WeeStreem Niagara.
WeeStreem Niagara.
Yes,
it's just
still,
like
it
just
still
popped
find
out of
it
my
there.
head.
There's a bit of a loose relationship between ourselves and Niagara 411, but we made it more solid Jan 1 of this year.
Exactly. So, and that's why the name is what it is, because let's face it, Niagara 411, you people that participate, have a look, contribute from time to time, as well as Nick, who spends 14 to 16 to 18 to how many hours a day putting this thing together. It's a great source of community exchange. And so what we wanted to do was to take it and at least once a week, expand that a little bit and give you real-time access to talk about whatever it is that is on your mind in Niagara. And now that is the Facebook page, of course, of Niagara 411 News. Breaking news and traffic, 365, 24/7. And the reason we're talking about this, and Kevin will jump in here whenever he feels like it, is the fact that nothing in this world happens for nothing. Nothing happens for nothing. Nobody wakes up in the morning and says, gee, what will I do with my life? I think I will spend maybe 16 hours a day doing something for nothing. No, never happens. never happens. Even the billionaires of the world, even Mr. Bezos and the other dude that flies rockets, Tesla dude, they don't wake up thinking, hey, what can I do for nothing today? So, Nick, we've all been affected. Everybody, every aspect of our society has been affected by COVID, and the people rethinking how they spend their money, how they spend their time, what they do with their resources. And all things have been affected. We just talked about sports finally starting to maybe come back, which was the cornerstone of the WeeStream business for quite some time after it was founded by Kevin and Brandon. So these things don't happen by accident. They happen by planning, they happen by hard work, and they happen, with money. And every now and then, cash flow, as you can readily identify with, I'm sure, every now and then, cash flow runs a little slowly. So there was an interesting thing that happened this past week. Nick threw up, I wouldn't say an appeal, just sort of say, hey, it's been a while since we let you know that we can't do this for free. I have a family. I'm kind of a one-man band, and there's bandwidth, there's resources, there's technology, there are things that you can't maybe completely identify with that it takes to run this thing.
I used to wonder how it all happened.
Like, how does he do it?
I've been following Nick and Niagara 411 for 10 years now.
Yeah.
And Nick and Niagara 411 was a valuable resource when Lee and I worked in MSM, in mainstream media. Both you and I worked at the White House.
MSM, that's cool.
Mainstream media will deny the fact that Niagara 411 is a valuable resource to them, but it is. They all follow it, they all scour it, and they all get news tips from Niagara 411.
The television stations you watch, the radio stations you watch, the other outlets, the newspapers you read, they all use this site. All of them.
So here we were getting paid our salaries to go in and try and generate news, and yet there's this one Facebook page.
When you say we, you mean we when we were in
you
media.
and I.
Yeah.
And yet there's a page that seems to be doing it better. They seem to have more information all the time, and I scratch my head.
And you don't have to pay for it.
And go, what is there a guy out there that's waking up at 4 a.m. and going to bed at 9 at night and scouring the news and listening to scanners? And I thought that's impossible.
And then we find out there is.
And then you meet Nick. And you go, there is. There absolutely is a person. His name's Nick. And this week, Lee, he appealed to Niagara 411 and said, hey, can we get some donations? And I think there's absolutely nothing wrong with that.
No.
Nobody needs to give money to anybody they don't want to.
How many times have you been watching something on a PBS channel, for example? Whether it's a Poirot mystery from Agatha Christie or some great concert by an artist that you like, and then after a set, these people come on and they just absolutely numb you with
Goldie, our friend Goldie over there.
Yes. With funding requests. Well, that's how they fund their thing. And granted, it's not the most entertaining interlude in the world when they come on to ask you for money. But, and I'm not running a telethon here or a TV-a-thon or Facebook-a-thon or whatever you call it for Niagara 411. Except I guess I kind of am. I guess I'm defending the fact that every now and then Nick is going to say, hey, we can't do it for nothing. If you enjoy the site and you feel like throwing a couple of bucks our way, it'll help us continue to do it.
And Lee,
that's it.
Here's how you do it. You can e-transfer to the email, niagara411news@gmail.com. Auto deposits are turned on, so you just got to e-transfer, and that goes directly towards Nick and goes directly towards funding Niagara 411. And there's something else that's lurking in the weeds that people may not consider. But the way that police and fire communicate, they're changing their hardware. And they're going from analog systems to digital systems, which means anybody that wants to follow along, if they have at-home scanners, also has to upgrade their equipment. Therefore, Nick will have to pay out of pocket just to keep Niagara 411 going.
Yeah, because make no mistake, how do you think all of these things about car crashes and robberies and blockages in traffic and emergency helicopters landing, gorge rescues, how do you think he finds out about all this stuff? Technology.
So he put up his post this week, and there was nothing wrong with it. And for whatever reason, a subpar Facebook page out of Welland Memes, which is something that I used to follow, and say used to because Welland Memes has been shut down.
Thank God.
Welland Memes,
in a way,
for whatever reason, decided to take issue and completely spend a day or two mocking Nick, mocking Niagara 411 out of pure jealousy.
Which is why we're doing it. Nick, by the way, doesn't know that we had planned to do this. We never talked to Nick about this. This show is our show. Nobody's driving the bus behind us but us. And Kevin and I said, well, let's start with this. Let's defend our...
It was brutal.
Yeah.
I was watching Welland Memes, as I do. I laugh and I chuckle. It's good, lighthearted fun.
Yeah.
And, at the end of the day, it's Welland making fun of Welland. And I laugh along with them. But hold on a second. This was a little more pointed. Now you're taking aim at Nick. You're taking aim at Niagara 411. And it's like those posts you see, the comments that say, listen, if you got nothing nice to say, why did you even comment? Just scroll on by.
Yeah.
And, if you don't want to donate, then don't donate. Go on by. But why Welland Memes decided to spend a day or two pinpointing Nick and Niagara 411 and calling them desperate and allowing the comments to just go on and on
Just-
and on
it just being
with
nasty.
misinformation, disparaging
Yeah.
Nick. It was, I don't know what they were accomplishing, but what they did accomplish was having their Facebook page shut down. So Welland Memes,
And inspiring this little...
yeah, Welland Memes is
Rant.
no longer, and for us to defend Nick
Yeah.
and say, come on.
And make no mistake, Welland Memes. And pal, we're not going to out you, but we know who you are. Welland Memes is one guy. It's not a group of disgruntled people in mom's basement hollering meatloaf. It's one guy.
And I generally laugh along with them at all the innocuous stuff that they throw up there, kind of making fun of East Siders and Lousers.
Yeah,
and
sort
all
of
that.
the anti-Welland.
It seemed all
people.
like light and good-hearted.
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden they decided to like call out Nick by name.
And that's just mean.
It made no sense.
Uh,
It should
so-
go from Welland Memes to Welland Mean.
And other things that happen, so we're not flogging the proverbial dead horse, and I still hate that phrase, and I have no idea where it comes from. I love horses. I don't like them dead, and I wouldn't want to flog one. But that's where who knows where the expression comes from. Nevertheless, when it comes to Niagara 411, there are also advertisements that show up. One thing that happened this week was there was an ad for Zappy's Pizza. Now, Zappy's Pizza has been around for ever, right? Well-known business. So they decide to advertise, throw some money Niagara 411's way, and the ad goes up on the page. Then someone says, well, why this and why is that and why are you talking about... Well, hey, folks, these are advertisements. Nothing happens for nothing. So, a reputable business like Zappy says, hey, Nick, I'd love to make an appearance on your page. Considering you've got like a gazillion followers, it's a pretty good way to spend an advertising dollar, you know. Doesn't come my way. I'm not promoting me here. I'm just saying. So when you question, why are you promoting this business? For money. It's very simple. We are promoting it for money. And where does that money go? It goes to continue to support the business that you enjoy following online as Niagara's pretty much only exclusive news and information 24/7 Facebook page and information outlet. It's really so pathetically simple. It really is. So,
Yeah, no. Let me move this along a little bit here, but just want to remind everybody that you can come on the show if anybody felt that the attack on Niagara 411 was unwarranted.
Yeah.
Click on that link there, the Zoom link. You
or
can
if
come
you
on the
think
show.
it was, you know what, I always like to. I enjoyed doing this in what Kevin calls now. It's so cool. He calls it MSM. Mainstream media. We actually have an acronym. Actually, it's not an acronym. An acronym by definition is letters that make a name. Well, MSM doesn't really make a name.
That's an initialism.
Initialism. Thank you. See, you learn things watching this program. MSM, mainstream media. One of the things that I enjoy doing from time to time. And this happened when I was a lowly announcer, when I was a program director, when I was a manager, when I was a vice president. Every now and then, it was, let's answer our customers' questions. Let's open it up. Let's do an hour. Let's do something. If you have any questions about what it is we do, or what it is you're listening to, or what it is you're supporting, ask us and we'll try to answer them for you. So, I'll just throw that out there. The whole Niagara 411 thing. Now, Nick is Niagara 411, and there are probably some questions that we're not able to, Kevin and I, answer in detail. But anything about the show, anything about what we do, anything about, and some things about the site as well. You want to come on and ask us about a whack of questions about, hey, what is it you guys do? What are you doing? How about this? Feel free. And the way that you connect with the program, whether it's anything we've talked about or something you'd like to talk about. We've had a number of people over the last few weeks. One last week got a lot of coverage, by the way, Phil Gladman came on from. He's kind of turned into our Welland correspondent. Speaking of Welland, and have we found out anything more about that club?
I did send an email or a text rather to Ryan, the owner of Tailgates.
Yeah.
He didn't get back to me, but there was a report in MSM this week, and seemed to indicate that they're coming back. He put a comment on there, said we're coming back, and maybe the dispute between himself and landlord is getting settled. But again, how many days, how many weeks can you not have access to your restaurant before the entire business starts to kind of crumble?
And to use that as an example, Phil just clicked on the link. You'll see at the bottom of the page there. He took it on himself. We didn't plan the interview. He just clicked on, and we had a pretty thorough chat about the Tailgates situation because the owners were advised legally not to come on. Well, where this is going is over the course of the week, not counting the thousands of views that the entire show had, that one interview was reposted on Niagara 411 Live, and that interview right now that you're looking at with Phil on the left side of your screen, 7,000 people, in addition to the regular show, at this point, maybe more by now, 7,000 views. That's a powerful medium, my friends. This is a powerful, wide-reaching, effective medium that is new, it is innovative, it is relevant, it is Niagara, and it is here every week. And then throughout the week, because we continue to put up small segments of the program, just like you're watching right now, that garners another bunch of thousands of views. It's a powerful medium, but nothing happens for nothing. It all costs money. Not a lot of money, but it still costs money to operate.
Lee, one thing that I think both you and I wanted to highlight this week is something that Nick did a little while ago with the page, and that had to do with the community tab. And I don't know if enough people go there.
Good call.
And I'll admit that I don't go there often enough.
Yeah, let's do that. And Kevin and I were talking about this offline, on Landline, as a matter of fact. And Kevin said, have you checked out the community page on Niagara 411 lately? And I said, you know what, I really haven't. But it's a whole different parallel universe that is available on Niagara 411. It's not just what you do on that homepage that you scroll through that indicates how hard Nick works behind the scenes to put this thing together.
Yeah, so there it is right there. That's the community tab right next to the home.
See that? You click on that.
And there's a treasure trove
of things that you don't see on the mainstream page.
Things are here. Now, what friends are saying, so here's our friend Kim Ferguson, or Lady Lyrics.
Lady Lyrics, yeah. She's been on the program before. Shrine Niagara, bringing Santa to you this Saturday. The Shriners and the great work that they do. Ontario getting rid of mail notices for expiring health cards. This is information, actually, that you might want to have a look at. So we encourage you to, if you don't yet, click on that community link on Niagara 411, because there are a lot of things on there. There's good information on there.
I found a diamond ring in the factory outlet mall parking lot on Lundy's Lane today.
Yeah. Now, that didn't make it to the mainstream page. And I mean, Nick has his own process of filtering what goes where. And it's not us to question which is which, but this is how he operates. Now, one of the things he did say is that lost and found animals and those kinds of things he wants to keep isolated in the community section, just because it can sometimes overwhelm the regular page. So that's where, if you've found or lost an animal, that's probably where you want to go.
So Wyatt's using this, and Wyatt's a friend of the program. He might in fact click on the show today to promote the Inita drag show. So there's a drag show coming up next week. So next Thursday night. So Wyatt's either going to come on today, or hopefully we can catch up with him next week and just perform promote this show, which he did in the community tab.
Now, we've come along as...
There's interesting stuff here.
Yeah.
Spotted outside Thorold Stone Timmy's. Like, what is that thing?
That would be an armored police vehicle.
That's not the one I bring through the drive-thru.
No, that's the one that shows up at hostage situations and terrorist attacks and stuff like that. Yeah.
That's a beast.
That is a beast.
There, individual returned my phone Saturday night in Niagara Falls. You're heading to St. Catharines in an Uber. Whoever you
Yeah.
are, thank you so much.
Yeah.
So I'm missing this little guy. This Sunday, hosting a Christmas photo shoot at Pet
Right.
Value in Pendale. Like there's lots of good information in the community section. And
Jillian, there's an organ. Kevin just scrolled by Jillian's place. Now, this is an important support service for women and their children in Niagara. When something like this happens, that's important. They're currently experiencing a service disruption with the phone lines. Now, they would have obviously posted that in their different places as well, but they would send it to Nick. Nick will put it up, and that's a very community-based thing. Now, that's a day ago. I'm not suggesting that that's current information. We're just trying to inform you about the kind of information you can find on that community tab, because even like we were saying, I wasn't completely aware of all of the stuff that's up there.
yeah, did you get this test alert yesterday?
Oh yeah.
12:55 p.m.
Yep. Yep. Where was I? I was in someplace with my wife. And where the heck
Everything
was it?
started going off.
Everybody's phones were like, pling, 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 pling. Crazy. Amber alert. She said, is that your phone? No, I said, it's everybody's phone. Everybody's phone.
Yeah, everything was
But it
going
didn't
off.
happen at 3 o'clock in the morning, so that's cool.
There you go. Lost an iPhone at the Pen November 15th. Turned into customer service.
Yeah, yeah. All right, so to remind you, if there is anything happening in your life, in your community's life, that you have an opinion on, or you want to promote, or you want to complain about, for heaven's sake, that link right at the bottom there of the page, see where it says join the show live by video chat, click the Zoom link in the post. That's about as simple as it gets. As long as you have an operative camera on your computer, your phone, and your audio's clicked on, we got you covered. All right, and you can come on the program. And while we're on this kick, and then we'll move off the whole revenue pay for play thing. And it does sometimes feel sleazy to ask for money, but you know what? You need some of it. No, money does not make happiness, as they say. But unfortunately, it's the currency of the day that moves us forward to be able to do things. It's a fact of life. And some of the people that help us by giving us some of their money to do this particular program, Niagara 411 Live, Gales Gas Bars Limited, fueling this program without reservation since almost its inception, the way they've been fueling Niagara for over 50 years now. Gales Gas Bars, we always appreciate your support, and we'll be here as long as you are. Also, Performance Heating and Air, Carlo and his gang. I talked about, we do need a service call, Carlo. We need a service call down at the office down the street there. It's, I don't know, it's a little damp, a little chilly, I don't know. I'm sure you guys can work it out. And ladies, by the way. So Performance Heating and Air, trying to save your family and me in the office money, because they have families here too. Verge Insurance Group, Mark Shirk, Blake Shirk, and their gang. Thank you very much. Another born and bred Niagara company that continues to serve all of your insurance needs. Now you may notice on the left side of that little live logo at the top of your screen, there's a gap there. That's the only gap we have in the program that is available for sale. So if you have a Niagara business and you'd like to be a part of this thing on a regular basis, which reaches thousands and thousands and thousands of Niagarans every week, and beyond Niagara as well, just get in touch with us, and we have that one opening left. We have one gold sponsorship left on the program. We were, up until a couple of weeks ago, completely sold out. We had no room for more participants, for more sponsors, but we do have a very rare opening right now for one. So, and I'm not going to beat that to death, just wanted to let you know. Kevin, there was a funny looking little vehicle roaming around Niagara this week. And let me tell you, the debates of the vax or not to vax, the mask or not to mask, the COVID or not to COVID, those debates are still raging, ladies and gentlemen. As you know, in our community, we'll probably touch on some COVID numbers as the program goes on, because we see headlines from time to time. Now and again today, I saw concerns about rising positive COVID tests in Niagara, but you know, that debate goes on. Now here it is, this little, very little vehicle. Now, looking at it from afar, you would think that it's somebody selling Viagra out of their car, because all you see is Pfizer on the front of it. But that's not what it is. What are some of the things that it actually says there? Real, not rare. Genocide. Pardon?
And that's a syringe there underlining.
Yes, that is a long needle. Yes, a syringe along the door there. Pfizer, bioweapon, Pfizer and company. So
I can't read what's on that.
I can't read what's on there either.
More of the same.
Yeah. So this might be a leap of logic, but I'm thinking this is an anti-vaccine person.
And what's he doing? He's got a Maple Leafs defenseman on the roof.
That's not fair. And you're a Maple Leafs fan.
No, but you ever see this car around? I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it either. Where was this?
Popped up on my Facebook feed this week.
Somewhere in Niagara, right?
Yeah, it was in St. Catharines. I mean, what's that right across the road?
Oh, what does that say?
Oh, it's Harriet Tubman School.
Oh, okay. There you. Oh, that's a good place to put it. Right outside us. Right outside an elementary.
Right outside the new Harriet Tubman School. Beautiful school serving downtown St. Catharines.
Isn't that nice? Hopefully, it's not the principal's car.
I just hope the principal's got a better parking spot.
Oh man.
So I drove by the St. Catharines Library today on the way in.
Yes.
And I saw a post earlier this week from Man About Town, Fred Bowring. And I want to bring that onto the program because some changes are coming to the St. Catharines Library. And you know that whole area, that courtyard, it attracts some of the homeless people, some of the unsheltered people, some of the addicts.
It is kind of a sheltered area.
And I think it's forever been, I'll say, a quote-unquote problem. I'm not really commentating on homeless people, unsheltered people, but it can be perceived as a problem with people gathering in that area and around the library. So I noticed this post and then corroborated with what I saw this morning with my own eyes.
Yeah, so barriers, by the way, barriers is not spelled with an E, Fred, sorry.
It's all good.
It's okay. We know what it means.
Yeah.
Barriers and gates are presently being installed around the St. Catharines Public Library to deal with people who gather there after hours. That was a very polite way to say it. And it's kind of an interesting approach by the library. And I don't know how you feel, Kev. We haven't even discussed necessarily how we feel about it. But I think it's a really good solution. Instead of having security guards kicking people out and like moving people away and having patrons feel sometimes uncomfortable coming in, so they've just redesigned the entrance to eliminate as much as possible the possibility of people using that area as a flop house, if you will.
I think what it looks like they're doing, and I don't know this for sure, but it looks like they're just enclosing it. and they're probably going to use gates. So during the day, during
Sure.
regular library hours,
Sure.
that's a little walkway, and it will be open. But when the library closes, I imagine so does your access
Yeah, sure.
to that little covered area.
Yeah. And as a covered enclosed area, there may be lots of things that the library going forward can use that for.
Yeah, I would agree, yeah.
It could be used for nice display areas. It could be used for book signings. It could be used for like presentations or any kind of thing. So in my mind, it solves a couple of problems. Solves the obvious one, but it also gives them great flexibility of more space to utilize in the promotion of literature and knowledge in the community.
Yes, but let's remember, Lee, above all else, never, ever,
Why do
ever,
I hear sarcasm coming?
never, ever, ever will it allow skateboarding.
Oh, perish the thought. Well, those hardened criminals, those skateboarding hardened criminals.
But yeah, and judging by this looks like it would be one of the
Kidding.
gates that would open.
Yeah,
It kind of looks like that. So I imagine that's kind of wrought iron style that they're going to go for.
sure. As long as it doesn't look. Now I don't know how it's going to look at the end of the day. As long as it doesn't look like some sort of prison-style enclosure.
Yeah, I hope not.
If it's creatively done, I'm totally in favor of it. If it looks like a gulag, then not so much. But not passing any judgments at this point in time. All right. There was an interesting law enforcement long-time investigation update as well this week. There were human remains discovered, gee whiz, Kevin, a number of years ago. Was it 2019?
Yeah, right around Christmas, December 2019.
Yeah. That there were human remains discovered by employees of the Sir Adam Beck power facility in Niagara. So one would assume that this was discovered somewhere down near the river, down through the gorge.
The update is today's press conference was canceled, but I'll get you to the original release where this is the meat and potatoes of it.
Now there was a press conference. The reason we're talking about this now is there was a press conference scheduled for 11 o'clock this morning, which was canceled. So that press conference did not take place. So here it is, 11 a.m. As of today. The press conference was supposed to provide details regarding the human remains found in 2019. They were sent to the Ontario Centre of Forensic Sciences, sort of like Ontario CSI, where they were examined by a forensic anthropologist and a human remains analyst. Descriptive information was obtained, resulting in the creation of a facial approximation by Detective Constable Duncan Way, a forensic artist with the Ontario Provincial Police. The facial approximation.
I always wondered, Lee, sorry to stop you, but
That's okay.
the sketch artists, are they not like the kickers on a football team?
Oh man, yeah.
Like, you got to think
I
there's
never
all
thought
these,
of it that way,
the
but-
big burly police officers that are out there
Yeah.
on the front lines every day, and
At
then
the end of the day, here's where the pressure ends up, right?
and then you got the sketch artist.
Yeah.
Anyway, now they're
I never thought of it that way.
facial approximaters.
Right. And it's sort of their thing that says, wow, we may have created a live image of this ancient case. The facial approximation was shared with other jurisdictions as in addition to Niagara. As a result of further investigation, the identity of the deceased was confirmed. Like, wow! Through the use of dental records and linked to an open missing person investigation with the Hamilton Police Service. Next of kin has been notified, and at the request of family members, no further information will be provided. Can you imagine the sense of completion, the sigh of relief, not only for the family, that goes without saying, but these police officers, not to mention the field goal kicker, the artist, the people that did all the work to create something, a person out of a non-person, I guess. That's got to be so cool. Like, hey, we closed this one. We closed it after 2 years. That's almost exactly 2 years, December of 2019. Just congratulations and kudos to all of those people, the forensic people, the investigators, all the paperwork and all the things and all the people that had anything to do with closing this cold yet still open case, and to the family as well. We are incredibly pleased that you have some closure over this. And closure is a word that is, I don't know, some people like it, some people don't. We all know what it means. It never brings somebody back that you're missing, but at least you have some answers. I guess that's what closure means. At least you have some answers.
Yeah, now, Lee, you reminded me of a story that is kind of fallen off the front page, but we've reminded ourselves about it, and that's the missing persons case of Darren Werner in Niagara-on-the-Lake. And you talk about families and communities that are just beside themselves because they have no answers.
And you're right. And when it does fall off the front page, it just sort of slides into obscurity.
So I just did a little Google search just to say, hey, what's the latest?
Good.
And I mean, here's stories from September 29th. I mean, this is going on 2-3 months.
Yeah.
September 30th, October 5th. Here you go. For people that don't know, right, you have search tools, and you can actually say, okay, anytime. Let's see if there's anything in the past week. Now, here we go. Missing since September. And then that's it.
Yeah. Nothing. There's absolutely nothing. 58-year-old man. Just gone. Gone. Poof.
You know, maybe we'll make it a point of reaching out to some of Darren's family.
I was just going to, I made a note to myself, a mental note to myself, to talk to you about that after the show, as a matter of fact. Because the worst thing that can happen to families is that people forget about their loved ones. And we should try to do our best on this show, especially here in Niagara for Niagarans, to help people remember that these are ongoing things.
I mean, can you read the quote there from Detective Sergeant Richard Gauthier?
Yes. I'd love to, he says, I'd love to be able to say, we suspect foul play, stay tuned, but I can't. In my 25 years of experience, I can honestly say this is a first. Up top, he says, it's so bizarre. People don't just disappear without a trace like this. I'm losing sleep over this now because it doesn't make any sense. And this is what keeps police investigators up at night. It would keep me up at night. It would drive me crazy.
Darren Werner is a father of 2 kids. I mean, just right there, right? How far-reaching are the tentacles? How many people are still, had a hard time sleeping last night because they don't know the whereabouts of Darren Werner?
And we can sit here and come up with all kinds of scenarios. Oh, maybe this happened. Maybe that happened. Maybe he did this. Maybe he did that. Maybe. But a whole whack of maybes don't leave you with anything at all. And have you ever wondered this, Kevin? If you wanted to disappear, and we see TV shows, and be they fact or fiction all the time, about people that manufacture their own disappearance, I wouldn't even know how to go about it. Like, without leaving a trail. Let's say, he's done something on his own. He's left on his own. Okay. Let's say that's a scenario. I wouldn't know how to, unless I had a suitcase full of dough that I could pay cash everywhere I went. But even then, wouldn't people...
Interestingly, Lee, I've given this a lot of thought, and first thing you would do is you would open up a secret bank account, and then you would start stashing some of your clothes away in a suitcase, maybe out in the shed.
How do you open up
like
a secret bank? You open up a secret under your own name.
Oh, I'm not saying, Lee, that...
You've already done this. You're planning your escape, aren't you?
I'm partway through.
Leanne, he's planning his escape.
Yeah, I'm leaving. Sayonara. But that one, you know what? Leave it to me, Lee, between this week and next week's program. we'll reach out to somebody close to
Yes.
Darren and find out and maybe get a plea from the family. There is also the chance that the NRP advised them not to do things like that. You never know. I mean, they know better than we do as far as what helps and what hinders an investigation. But we'll see if we can get any more information on that.
Actually, this is Kevin and I now having an editorial content meeting live on the show, because something else just popped into my head now that we're having this conversation. One of the things I'd like to do, Kevin, as well as that, is do the same thing with some of the other stories that we've done on the program. Search back on some of the things that we have done that perhaps may have not closed. Maybe that we should inquire, well, okay, what's happened now? What's happened next? Speaking of which, the young lady that we had on for Halloween, that was on with Ryan and Kelly.
Yes.
What was the outcome? I confess I did not watch the show. I did not follow the outcome. And we did the show here, and people might say, okay, what happened there? So now this is us doing this on the fly. This is what happens when you do live entertainment or infotainment, if you will, is sometimes we put each other on the spot. Now I just put Kevin on the spot because I asked him a question that I wasn't supposed to ask. It wasn't planned. So what happened? What happened?
No update. No update on Sherilyn's Facebook page.
Yeah, Sherilyn, no, nothing.
But we could be pretty happy. Is that she's quite petite.
Yes.
And she looks young, and in costume, she didn't want her costume to go to waste. So as an adult, she went out trick or treating. Yep, I went trick or treating. The mask hides the wrinkles, and I look 12, so win-win.
Oh, that's good.
Now, if you remember, I did speak to Sherilyn after, and she's dealing, and I know I'm going to mess it up, but she calls herself, I think, the Potsy, because POTS is.
Yes.
Is a disease. It's a very rare one.
It's the syndrome that she's dealing with.
She deals with that.
Yeah.
And as a result, she has a page of crafts that she makes. And she said after she appeared on her show, she did get a boost in orders and things like that. So I just want to see if I can find it here. And
she does some incredible craft work. That
there's her Halloween costume.
Yeah, that was her. That was part of her Halloween costume. Yeah, she went like a deer on the wall. Yeah.
So I don't know that she wants all this to be out there in the public, but I'm just trying to find her Potsy's. There it is, Potsy's Treasures.
Yeah.
So here you go, local girl that makes some cool handcrafted stuff, and with Christmas just around the corner here, cake toppers. She's saying she's got a lot of business and people asking for cake toppers.
Yeah.
And what I should have asked her, because my daughter Ayla turns 8 on Saturday.
Oh, good! Happy birthday,
There's
Ayla.
a great cake toppers for Gabriel, who's
So
turning 7.
One of the other things you can do is, if you want to get a hold of us, and if you would like us to revisit a story that we've done or has been on Niagara 411 for which there has been no follow-up. That's what drives people nuts in the media, or that follow the media, be it mainstream media, be it anything, is there's all this stuff on the radar for a period of time, and then, as Kevin says, it slides off the front page, the sort of figurative front page of our current mindset, and then it slides into obscurity. And being a media guy myself, it drives me nuts myself when I thought, man, I talked about this a month ago, and I've done nothing to follow up on it. So if there's something that we have done, or you would like or somebody in Niagara has done, and you would like some follow-up to it, let us know, and we'll try to dig it up for you.
Yeah, 100%. Lee, here's something that we used to do all the time, and we haven't in a while. I don't know that it really fell off the front page because it's everywhere, but local COVID numbers.
COVID, yeah, well,
and
it has
see
become...
how Niagara's doing.
It has become an issue again. Now, here are the new cases as of today. 25. All right. Now, in Niagara, we would have taken 25 a year ago and thought, oh, that's pretty good. I don't think in 2021 it's pretty good to have 25 new cases. That doesn't sound good. We only have 240 active, but there are still people here in Niagara that are 240 of them that are sick. Resolved cases, okay, 19. Means you got better. Good for you. Total number of cases since it started, and this is a number, Kevin, that I still kind of shake my head at. And out of a population of like 500,000 or whatever it is we have here, it's a good round number, 500,000 people in Niagara. Only 18,000 people actually got it since March 2020. Now think it like,
well, that we know of. Well, here's an example, and this is
okay,
a
but
total,
doesn't that still sound trivial to you?
This is anecdotal. I don't think it's trivial when we saw before vaccinations the backup at our hospitals, and I honestly think that's a big divide that Canadians have to understand.
You
is
are
that
correct.
Our government is responsible for our health care.
Yeah.
So therefore, they have to treat the pandemic seriously because they're also responsible for our health care.
Yeah.
In the United States, health care is private. So the government isn't necessarily worried about the fact that surgeries are backed up 6 months. Not my problem.
No, the minute governments get worried in the States, they lose elections. So they don't want to get worried about it. So that's the problem that they have in the U.S. But you hit the nail on the head when I was talking about the numbers seeming trivial. You took it to the level that is important, and that was the stress and the strain, and it still is. The stress and the strain that is on our healthcare system and our healthcare workers here in Niagara. I mean, yes, it's in Ontario, it's all over, but we're talking about Niagara, and yes, they have been under great duress because of this. Because it's not just because of COVID. It's what COVID added to it. They already we're dealing with a lot of healthcare issues just on a regular, normal, average, everyday year. You got out surgeries, you got in surgeries, you got flus, you got emergencies, you got car accidents, you got heart attacks, you got people getting older and having strokes. You got all kinds of things. You've got all of the cancer situations that are going on. So the healthcare system is already pretty busy. What the COVID thing did, in spite of the fact that sometimes the numbers don't look extreme, what the COVID thing did is just throw the icing on the cake and push it over the... I'm mixing metaphors, I know. But that's what COVID did. It just took an already pretty busy system and topped it up.
Now, Lee, I'm just going to put a bookend on that. We do have somebody in the green room, so we'll get to them in a second, and I'll set it up. But an anecdotal story that I was told this week was that at one of the retirement homes, there was, I don't want to say an outbreak, but somebody tested positive there. So as a result, well, now we got to test everybody because everybody's within close contact. And everybody in there is double vaccinated. Well, when they went and tested everybody, they found an alarmingly high number of people. This is in St. Catharines that had COVID and were carrying COVID. But because they were vaxxed, really they were asymptomatic.
Okay.
So when you say that these are the number of people that have it, there's a chance that a lot more people either have it or have had it or have carried it or currently carrying it.
Okay.
But because we're vaccinated, but of course, you know,
so you're saying this care home was full of residents that were vaccinated properly and were still tested positive.
Yeah, tested positive because there was a bit of a, not an outbreak, but somebody tested positive in the home, and it's a retirement home right here in St. Catharines. But again, total anecdotal story. I don't want to put any validity to the story.
Yeah, it's just something that a guy told a guy who told you.
Exactly. So I don't know how true it is, but you could see that circumstance playing out. Right. Now, Lee, we talked earlier in the program about this upcoming event because it appeared on Niagara 411.
Yeah.
It's Anita's birthday bash. And it is a, well, you know what? Why do I need to describe
You don't.
what it is?
Why?
We'll let our friend Inita Kira, who, of course, has also been on the show as Wyatt Richardson in the past.
Yeah.
And they join us now.
Inita, welcome back.
Hello. How are you all?
We are all well. Thank you so much for clicking in. So tell us about your event.
So, this upcoming Thursday, November 25th, in Welland, Ontario, 128 East Main Street to be exact, we have an event going on which is celebrating 1 year of me being a drag queen, as well as a bunch of things in our community. We're going to branch out and do a bunch of food drives for future drag shows and all that fun stuff, but not to jump into that right now.
Okay.
We are
Can you
hosting
do
the
me,
show.
Anita, can you do me a favor? Can you move a little closer to your microphone, because we're just breaking up a little bit, and I don't want to miss anything you have to say.
How about that? Is that a little bit better?
That is awesome.
Awesome. Okay, so it is this Thursday coming up.
Yeah.
It's doors open 8 a.m., but you can come at 7. We're serving drinks with each ticket purchase. We have the Love Shop sponsoring us. We have Sassy Supporters sponsoring us. We have Pup Perfect sponsoring us. We have so many local businesses kind of sponsoring this event for free giveaways. We're just kind of test out the waters, and then we're bringing in, like I said, to free donations, charities and stuff like that.
Okay,
down
so
the road.
what's the show itself going to be? What can we expect to see?
So we have a local comedian, Patrick Alexander. He is going to be hosting our show.
Patrick Alexander, friend of the show. I got to stop you there. Patrick Alexander, total friend of the show.
We know Patrick so well.
Yeah, we
he's
love
hilarious.
Patrick.
Yeah, we love Patrick.
He fills in for me whenever I decide that I don't want to work.
He's awesome like that. That's exactly what he's doing for my show. I don't want to host it. I want to be the co-host. So I want to have fun. My birthday I just had on November 13th for Wyatt. So happy birthday to me. And Anita is
happy birthday.
Yeah. Thank you. So it's $25. You can pick them up at The Honest Lawyer. You can just go up to the bar and ask for tickets for Anita's birthday show. Or also at initakaira@gmail.com. You just send an e-transfer. It's your first name and last name of each person, and we'll take care of you from there.
That's terrific. How many people do you expect to have performing that night?
So I have exactly, I want to say 8 people. There could be 1 or 2 more special guests, but there's also a very talented local singer, Karina. She is going to be in our show. She's not a drag queen, but she's a diva of her own. She's going to be featured, and she's going to kind of be a little intermission for us. So we have Patrick telling some jokes. We have prizes from even Victoria Fireworks. We have lots of free giveaways. So it's an event you don't want to miss out on, and I encourage you to check out their team.
That is awesome. And the proceeds, maybe I missed this. I apologize if I did. The proceeds from this evening of entertainment are going where?
So this event itself is kind of supporting towards local businesses. We're testing out the waters, and then for our next show coming up, which will be determined, we are going to be making donations to like Project Share and the Hope Center and like things like that. So we're going to kind of do a food drive. So instead of purchasing a ticket, the next show we're going to make you donate a perishable food item, and then that's your ticket proceeds essentially. So
great.
We're going to have that. Yeah, we're going to have that all announced in our future ads and stuff like that. But there's lots. I don't want to spoil it, but there's lots of local entertainers that are coming, like Karma Kira, Deanna Stevens-Dior, Christy Kenzie. There's so many people. I have a couple people from London that are coming out.
Nice.
It's just going to be a great time. Yeah, and
That's
I want
cool.
to thank you again for having me on the show.
Oh, our pleasure. Kevin, you wanted to say something?
I just, and you kind of touched on it there, Anita. But like, I don't know, other than what I've seen on TV, about what happens at a drag show. I would assume it's a number of performers that are singing and dancing. But what would we expect if we come there that night? And maybe you already covered this, but I kind of missed the whole aura of the evening. Of course, we can go to the Honest Lawyer, we can have some drinks, we can eat all the regular stuff.
Yeah.
But from a show and a performance standpoint, I know Patrick, of course, will probably do some comedy and stuff like that. What else?
You think?
What else would we see? Is every drag queen a singer? I don't think so.
Jumping on. So I have my very good friend Karina. She's going to be a singer. So she's going to be doing a couple songs. Drag queens essentially are female impersonators, illusionists, whatever they want to be. We have drag kings essentially too, but not at this show, unfortunately. Holiday weekend and all that fun stuff, and people are working. But drag is a form of art. People sometimes even just do poetry. Sometimes people are comedians. Some not so nice. Some like that. They're very nice.
Right.
No, but you're right.
Yeah, we have lots of people.
I never really considered that itself. The art form of transforming yourself
Yeah.
into a drag queen could itself be the exhibit, so to speak. I don't mean that
Well, yeah.
in
definitely.
a zoo kind of way, but as far as like appreciation
You
for
are the
the
show.
art form. Yeah, you are the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what I pride myself on personally. Is I'm a female illusionist. I'm talented in other ways as well, but I like to focus on the fact of looking like a shaved boy like Caillou with no eyebrows, and then jumping up like even Glamazon.
Can I-
even Glamazon, if you will. So
Can I
Yeah.
ask you? Well, I'm going to ask you, so I shouldn't ask you if I can ask you. I'm going to ask you anyway.
Ask anything.
A personal question, and this is more serious than what we've been talking about. People from sort of my side of the fence, if you will, if there is such a fence. I'm not sure there is a fence anymore. I think we've all crossed over the fences these days. But when are you, in your mind, when are you Inita, and when are you Wyatt?
Very good question.
Thank you.
I find
I'd like
Anita
a really
is
good
more,
answer.
present.
Like I don't understand how it works.
I myself have gotten into the art of makeup within the last year, and I've learned that being a drag queen is also a form of your alter ego and a persona. So Anita is a more confident individual who's very business oriented, likes to have things structured, and Wyatt's a cool guy who likes to groom dogs. So you put the two together, and I kind of became a makeup artist and kind of female illusionist. So I turn off the Anita when the money goes away. No, that sounds bad. But at the same time, yeah, I'm trying to turn this into a profession. So I'm becoming a makeup artist. So as of December 1st, I will be an airbrush technician, essentially. I'll be a certified airbrush technician. So from
I'm
0
going
to 100,
to pursue it just a little bit more. I'm sorry, because these are questions
don't be sorry.
that I don't have an opportunity to ask. So you have your dinner, you watch your TV, or you do whatever you do at night. You go to bed, you have a nice sleep, and you wake up in the morning. When you wake up in the morning, who are you?
I'm Wyatt.
You're Wyatt.
Definitely Wyatt. I
Okay.
wake up, I think I'm Wyatt, but then I'm also kind of brainstorming ideas of things, different hairstyles, different. So it's like in my brain, I'm an Anita. And I don't want to say it's a hobby.
So you're an amalgam of all these things that you are.
Yeah. Essentially, yeah, I would like to say that. Like, I am a very confident individual on a regular basis. I would say Anita is more of a go-getter.
I think I think it's very cool, and I just I could talk to you for hours. Go ahead, Kev.
Yeah, maybe I can help it here because I just come maybe a different perspective, but I think the right answer is you're always both. Are you not? Like you're Anita and you're Wyatt, and I don't know outside of the outside appearance, like the person, you're all those people.
Is the same
at the same time. When you say you wake up Wyatt, you wake up Anita.
No,
you wake up you, if that makes any sense, and you kind of transform yourself on the outside to Anita with the clothes and the makeup, but Anita's a part of you, and Wyatt's a part of you. It's who you are. Is that a better answer?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I was trying. I don't want to say it's a hobby, but it's a passion that I kind of don't have an off switch on. I wake up and it's just kind of the art form is there. It's like when you're thinking about working on your next project. You're working on your next project, or you think about your next outfit that you're going to wear for the next day. There's
cool.
Personalities in there, but unclinically diagnosed.
Interesting. Well, thank you for. I realize this is a very deep and complex subject, but I just thought since we had you to chat with, I thought we'd just sort of scrape at least the tip of the iceberg. So, good luck with the event.
Definitely.
Good luck with the event. Anita's birthday bash. coming up on November the 25th. That's a week from today in Welland, and we have the post up on the screen there. It sounds like a lot of fun. Sounds like a blast. It's at the Honest Lawyer in Welland. Patrick Alexander will host, and I know that will be entertaining. Thanks for clicking in and talking to us about this today, Anita.
Thank you for having me. I'm so honored again.
Hey,
Thank you so much, guys.
always a blast. Come back anytime.
Thank you so much.
Cheers.
I look forward to it.
Yeah, have a great weekend.
Thanks.
Yeah, and I mean, don't get me wrong. I know in those questions, I sounded like somebody completely out of touch with that community, but that's why I asked the questions. Because I think a lot of people are not in sync with that community and that art form, if you will. So I thought, and Kevin, thanks for piping in. I thought that was a great discussion.
You know what? You're better to ask than not know.
Yeah.
Might have an opportunity. Okay, I'm just going to ask the question, and forgive me if I sound this way, that way, or the other.
Yeah.
But these are the questions I have. So,
exactly.
And you ask them in a respectful way.
That's one of the things. It's one of the things that whatever success that I experienced in my broadcasting career, one of the things I thought I was pretty crappy at a lot of things, but one of the things I thought I was pretty good at was asking a question that I could imagine my audience wanting to ask. And so that's where I go. Be it harmful or not to my reputation.
Hey, bang on. That looks like it's going to be a fun time, though. So a week from today, next Thursday, hopefully we'll remember to talk about it on next week's program. And, of course, friend of the show, fill-in host, if you will. He's Jay Leno to your Johnny Carson.
Thank you. Thank you.
Patrick Alexander hosting.
I have a better wardrobe, I think. Well, no, I'm only kidding. No, he has a wardrobe to kill for. And speaking of which, and we talked about talking about things that we've done before and then not following up. I want to follow up on this. Next Thursday. And now, Kevin, I sent you a couple of pictures. I don't know if you can you access the pictures I sent you of Mitch?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. 2021 is the 50th anniversary of what began as it always was, I guess, a children's television show on CHCH in Hamilton, which of course we still count as part of the Golden Horseshoe in Niagara. And in 1971, the hilarious House of Frightenstein became a household name and staple as it aired with Canadian comic actor Billy Van. It was created by the Markowitz brothers. Mitch Markowitz, co-creator as well as co-star. He played a role in the show called Super Hippie, and keeping in mind it was 1971. And it became an absolute sensation. And to this day, 50 years later, the hilarious House of Frightenstein has I don't really like the word cult, but it has such an amazing following worldwide and has had a fabulous 50th year in its anniversary year, because a lot of things have happened from LA to Europe and around the globe. And I finally had an opportunity to chat with, there is Mitch Markowitz right there. That, ladies and gentlemen, is just one spot in his living room. His house is like a museum, and he'll probably be in that setting when we chat with him next week. You might notice Igor, the big statue in the back. He was the right-hand henchman, if you will, of the Count on the hilarious House of Frightenstein. And that's a little coffin on wheels. This is in Mitch's house, by the way. And you'll see the chair there with the M on it, which of course stands for Markowitz. And he'll probably be, I can't guarantee, you never know what Mitch is going to do. he'll probably, that smoking jacket he's wearing used to be an old full-length house coat that nobody wanted, and he cropped it off and rolled the sleeves up and made it into his own personal smoking jacket. He's one of the greatest collectors of memorabilia and horrorabilia, if you will, around the world. A fabulously interesting man. And so we're going to chat with Mitch next week. And he wanted a week to prepare because he's going to promote it all over the planet that he's going to be on our show. And I'm so honored that Mitch Markowitz is going to be joining us, the co-creator, co-star of the hilarious House of Frightenstein. And he will tell us the story next week of how he and his brother landed Vincent Price to be the actual host of the show from this little independent TV station, CHCH Channel 11 in Hamilton, 50 years ago this year. So that's coming up next week.
Very cool, Lee. Can you promote the band that we're going to feature at the end of the show, and then I want to get into a personal obit that I want to share with the community.
Yeah, we want to talk about this coming up at the end of the program. As you may be familiar with, if you've seen us before, we have a musical act that has Niagara connections, a different one every week, that in the old vernacular of show business plays us off the stage. It used to be back in the days of vaudeville, etc. You guys would come out and they do their thing, or the ladies would come out and they dance, and then there would be a song that played them off the stage. Well, we kind of do the same thing here, only not quite as cheesy. James Blonde is a band in Niagara. They are going to be performing a song for you at the end of the show to play us off the stage, called Delirium. So stick around for that, because all of these performers that we have on this show are absolutely spectacular. The talent that surrounds us in Niagara is truly quite astounding. And James Blonde with Delirium will be playing us off the stage today. And I am going to turn it back to Kevin now, because a very important person in Niagara, as well as personally to Kevin, left us recently. And Kevin, this is yours.
It was on Remembrance Day. So a week ago today, we lost a very prominent businessman and a personal friend of mine, the ballhockey.com owner, Brian Broly. And here's a post that I put out, and I think I'll just read it verbatim because, well, here, you know what? I'll show you a picture. I mean, there's Brian right there. Great guy, family guy, father, everything else. Here's what I shared, and I just wanted to share it on this show. I know he's connected to a lot of people. It's not just adults like me that play ball hockey. A lot of people here in Niagara have their kids involved in ball hockey. So the tentacles run right across Niagara. He's got a facility, the old tennis club. That's ballhockey.com's main headquarters. They also have a couple of rinks just beside the Young Sportsplex in Welland. And all of that funnels up a pyramid. At the top was Brian. I said, R.I.P. Brian. Brian Broly was a father and a friend whose death has saddened me in many ways. He was more of a friend to me than a ball hockey guy or league facility owner. It's hard to be both to so many people, and that made him special. I'll miss you, Brian, and enjoyed the mentorship you provided over the years. I'm not sure if ball hockey will ever be the same here. I honestly don't know how or who moves it forward. See, Brian didn't need to be nice and caring. He didn't need to listen to players and our crazy concerns, complaints, or concepts. But he did. That made him special. I will miss him. We will miss him. Condolences to his family who are grieving at this time. If I can help in any way, please let me know. We lost a good one last week. Brian, he had a private family service a couple of days ago as per his request. My heart goes out to Lou, his wife, his partner, also Mike and Laura, his children, and his father is still with us as well. So, you know. What,
dare I kind of be insensitive, but how did we lose Brian? What happened?
I'm not entirely sure right now, Lisa. I wouldn't want to speculate, but it was a sudden passing and a sudden illness, and
too bad.
Yeah, and it's too bad we lost a good one, and I know there will be like a memorial tournament set up in his honor, but it's not enough. I mean, he had 25 to 30 years ahead of him, I would think, where he would have got to see the growth of his family, the growth of his grandchildren, and sadly, that's been taken away from him. I personally lost a friend. I mentioned mentorship. As I became an entrepreneur in 2015, I had many conversations with Brian about running a business. He had some good insight and some valuable insight, and over the years we transitioned more from a business or a sporting relationship into a friendship. And it was a friendship that I valued, and I remember when I last saw him, and we had a great little one-on-one chat. And again, my heart and condolences go out to the entire Broly and extended ball hockey family.
Yeah, well, Mike, my condolences to you for losing a close friend.
Yeah, and sorry, Lee. I mean, we did an obit. There's no real good way to get out of an obit.
No, but I wanted to. But I do have a way to get out of this and to save you a little bit of angst, maybe, and that is to slide into something that I was unaware of, and that is the extent of the ball hockey community that is here in Niagara. I first met you, I think it was probably 2014. So that's going back a ways, when I started working at CKTV here, and you were already there, had been there for a number of years, and you were one of the executive producers of the talk platform at that radio station. So you and I had occasion to talk from time to time, and the reason I mention that is where I first actually heard from you about the fact that there was such an extensive ball hockey culture here.
Yeah, there really is.
In Niagara, and I had no idea.
And if not wholly, in large part, we owe that culture to Brian.
Yeah.
He was the one that bought the facilities, that leased property. I mean, he was leasing Hague Bowl to run not just ball hockey, but there's also roller derby and pickleball. It was 100% his company, ballhockey.com. He started in Barrie. He has a facility in Barrie was 4 rinks, now 2. I forgot to mention the 2 rinks that are over at the canal. If anybody's been out, at Lock 3 there where the museum is, and you see the 2 arenas. That's ballhockey.com. That's Brian.
Wow.
The tennis club, that's his property. They would do so many different things out of there. It was home to a soccer club.
See, and that's where I wanted to take this conversation.
Running club.
Like, not just the obituary of the incredible man, but the legacy that has been left. For that I had, and I'm sure a lot of other people that weren't involved with that sport left it. Holy cow! We had no idea this infrastructure existed here in Niagara.
And it really falls on his shoulders. Outside of the Niagara region and outside of ballhockey.com, ball hockey is mainly played in either decommissioned arenas, ones where they can't make ice anymore, at Rex Steimer's where they're doing volleyball now. Down here, we have dedicated facilities, and that's quite rare. That's not everywhere across Ontario. So a lot of times ball hockey, again, is a summer sport when the ice is out, or like you said, an old arena or something like that. And he had some good facilities dedicated to ball hockey, and that created a ball hockey culture. And I see it all the time. I see kids walking around with ballhockey.com T-shirts on, with hats and sweaters and things like that. And Brian's the guy at the top of that pyramid, and we lost.
I would have had, I and a lot of people I know would have had no idea that kind of support existed for that sport in this community. Brian, well, unfortunately I never knew the man. That was not in my world. But wow, what a gap to fill. How do you fill that gap, Kevin? What happens with the sport here now?
I think everybody right now is trying to figure that out. Maybe we're beyond the initial grieving and trying to say, okay, how do we?
Somebody's got to take the reins.
How does the business move forward? I'm honestly not sure. And you know what? Whatever decision the family makes, I would 100% stand by. There's so many moving pieces here and so many parts because he was gone so suddenly and so young. That I don't think anybody was prepared. There was no transition plan in place because there didn't need to be.
No, because something like that is run with passion and commitment, and love. And the combination of those things, focused on a particular sport like ball hockey, could be anything, but in this case, ball hockey, those qualities are impossible actually to replace. So it'll probably have to be some sort of a different business model, but hopefully someone has the passion, Kevin, to...
I'm a little busy.
I know.
No, but here, Lee.
But I was being serious, and a community like that will miss him, and I'm sure it will thrive because he probably left a great platform for continuance. So hopefully it will.
So Lee, I'll get myself off of this, and I'll share this story with you. But really, it's just so Niagara 411 put up this story 2 hours ago.
Yeah,
so it's really an NRP release. Armed robbery, convenience store. Pelham
Patrol responded to an armed robbery convenience store located in the area of Pelham and Galbraith, St. Catharines. A lone male entered the store armed with a knife. A demand was made to the cashier to surrender money from the register. Jeez. Yeah, all right. So what did the perpetrator get away with?
He got away with some money, but I'll tell you. And this is where I'm going with this, Lee. It's like, okay, I think I know the convenience store that's down there, little yellow one, family run. I know the people. Used to live right in that area. Really nice guys. But the guy in that photo looks like, now I got two weird stories for you. Both of them happened today, before we even got on the air at noon.
All right.
So right behind you there, right on St. Paul, right outside that glass, as I was setting up for the show, a guy that looks just like him. A guy that looks just like this guy.
Well, if you can figure out that blurry security camera photo.
Exactly. So, ish. A homeless guy. And I see him walking by here, and I can figure out that in his hand, he's got one of those Purolator slips. You know the slips that they leave for you on the door when nobody was home?
Oh, yeah.
So he's got a Purolator slip.
Right, so he's got a Purolator slip.
And he's got it in his hand, and it looks as though he just tore it off a wall.
All right.
And in the time that he walks across here, he puts it in the garbage can. He throws it in the garbage can. I guess he looked at it and said, well, nothing for me, and he threw it in the garbage can.
Okay.
So I opened up the door here to Fiddler's.
Okay.
And I chased him down into the parking lot and said, hey, buddy, you got to put that back on. Like, somebody needs that.
Good for you.
That's somebody's package.
You engaged with this. That's good.
Like, come on, man. Like, go around and you can look in the garbage, find some cigarette butts, ask me for some change or a sandwich. That doesn't bother me. But come on now. You're just... And he literally took it off a mailbox right here and threw it in the garbage right there.
Did he return it?
Yep, he did. I sat there with him.
He did what you asked him
to
do?
I opened up the lid for the garbage can for him. He grabbed it out and he stuffed it back in the mailbox that he took it from. There you go.
Good for you.
Now, here's another mystery that I solved this morning.
Wow, you're full of them.
And how's this one? So, my neighbor subscribes to the newspaper. Okay, as do a couple of people out there, and they they get it on the driveway.
Somebody has to.
Last Thursday, I take the garbage out and notice that his newspaper is at the foot of his driveway. Now, out there in God's country, right, the driveways are rather long, so it was weird because normally they drop his newspaper, they come right into a circular driveway and drop it at the door.
Okay.
But it was at the foot of the driveway.
All right, I'm with you.
So I take my garbage out, and then I notice that there's a pickup truck that's pulled off to the shoulder of the road just in front of his house, which is not the place that you would normally pull over. It's kind of a dangerous place to pull over onto the shoulder. Okay, don't think anything of it. Who knows? Then I'm leaving to drive the kids to school. This all happens in about a 10-minute span, and I notice that my neighbor's newspaper's gone. Okay.
Newspaper theft.
So I talked to him the next day, and I say, hey, by the way, I saw this, that, and the other. I said, did you get your newspaper yesterday? He goes, no, I didn't. They didn't deliver it. I go, no, that guy in the pickup truck stole your newspaper. So fast forward to this morning. Like, I'm playing hero of the community today. So again, it's garbage day.
You should be on this Good Samaritan feature we do.
I know. Come on, Nick. Put a post about KJ here.
KJ, the Good Samaritan.
Policing the community. And we'll get to James Blonde and the Delirium song. It's really good, by the way.
All right, but I got a story for you, too.
Okay, so
get to it.
Well, this morning I go back. I'm taking out the garbage. I'm done, and I'm walking away, and the same pickup truck pulls over in the same spot.
He's a serial newspaper stealer.
He is. So now I kind of hide in the bushes. There's a hedge there. I go, I'm going to see what happens here.
All over a $2 newspaper.
Sure enough, a guy opens his door, and this time my neighbor, like my next door neighbor, his newspaper was up at the house. But across the street, it was at the foot of the driveway.
All right.
So this guy opens up his pickup truck, walks across 2 lanes of traffic, picks up the newspaper, and goes back into his truck. So now, boom, I burst out of the bushes, right? Like, gotcha. So I go to the guy, hey, buddy, what are you doing? What are you doing with the newspaper? And he just gave me a wave. He gave me one of those, like, oh, hey. And then I'm like, no, why are you stealing his newspaper? He doesn't say anything. Now he picks up his pace. He gets into the truck as fast as he can. Well, I walk out into the middle of the road so that he can't pass me. To be like, listen, dude, what are you doing in our neighborhood stealing newspapers? It's 2 weeks in a row now, and I've caught you. So Lee, he peels out of the shoulder.
He still kept the newspaper?
Oh yeah, he kept the newspaper. He peels onto the road. I'm standing in front of him so that he can't drive past me. He goes into the other lane, hops the curb on the far side, and speeds away.
With the newspaper?
With the newspaper to avoid being confronted by me about stealing the newspaper for the second time.
You could have got hit by a truck and killed.
Over a newspaper.
Over a newspaper.
That's how committed I am to the community, Lee. So look at me. This morning, I got the one guy that's stealing the Purelator package. Come on, man. Put the notice. It wasn't even the package. It was just the notification. And then I got the guy out in West St. Catharines that's made a habit of stealing newspapers off of people's driveways.
Okay. I have one for you.
It's crazy.
Kudos to you.
True story, honest to God.
How could you make that up? Kudos to you. Too bad the guy still lost his newspaper. Wouldn't you think at least he'd drop the newspaper?
You would think so. No, he needed it. I need my flyers, Lee.
Oh, was this the big Thursday flyer paper?
I think it is.
That the like Niagara This Week hands
Yeah,
out
the
for
Niagara
free?
This Week one. Yeah, the Niagara This Week
Like
one.
you don't have to pay to be in it. Just like
Yeah, I think he wanted the flyers. Crazy.
Quick story. I had an opportunity to be sort of a good citizen, but I passed on it. But I guess I was a good citizen. I was a good
I
citizen.
could have done the right thing, but I decided not to.
No, because
This story by Lee Sterry.
I could have created a scene, and I resisted the urge. I was at the Lakeshore Plaza, North End, St. Catharines, off Lakeshore Road. I was coming out of the store. I was going to my car, which was parked perfectly in its parking space where it was supposed to be. A woman and her husband had pulled in kinda sorta next to me, and yes, they were of an older generation. So, however, I thought they were in transit going someplace else, where in actual fact, she had parked completely askance.
Are you doing a diagram now?
I'm going to try to do a diagram.
Oh, God.
Here is the parking space,
Okay.
right? Her car was parked thus,
Just not even close.
right beside me. So, like I was,
No, you figure she's not parking there. She's
she's moving through. I was here. I looked at her. She looked at me. Our driver's doors were facing. I rolled down the window. She looked out. I looked out. No words were ever spoken. I got out of my, I closed the door, finished getting into my car. I rolled down the window, and I was really tempted to say, couldn't you have done a better job? But our eyes were, and I thought, you know what, screw it.
just
There's a lot of other places to park.
park how you wish.
Pick my battles, but that's really what happened. And she and her husband got out of the car, and she looked down and still walked away.
Nah.
3 parking spaces were compromised by one compact vehicle, and they didn't even have, like, there was no handicap sticker, there was no nothing. They were perfectly, yes, they were older, but they were perfectly mobile. She just didn't give a damn. And I thought, I'm just going to let it go.
You know what? We should all do that more often.
I'm just going to let it go.
Because we do. We get rankled when that happens, and maybe we should just go, you know what? This parking lot is huge.
There's lots of places
There's
to go.
room for all of us. Why do I care how she parks?
And I'm not going to ruin somebody's day by being a dick.
But we're living in a society here, Lee. We're living in a society. There are rules.
There are rules. There are rules. Parking people. Kevin, I always love working with you, and today in particular, it's been a blast.
You know what? A big shout out to our parking guy, Wayne.
Wayne, yeah, that allows us to every now and then shove our vehicles into spots that we would normally pay him for, but it's all good. Thank you to Gales Gas Bars Limited for fueling this program. Thank you to Carlo and Performance Heating and Air for being a sponsor of the program, Verge Insurance as well. Don't forget, we have one opening. If you would like to be a part of this shindig every week, we invite you to do so, and we can tell you how many millions that's going to cost you if you want to get in touch with us. WeeStream, Kevin, Jack, our executive producer, his partner, Brandon Scram, back at the home office. We thank you very much. This has been episode 46 of Niagara 411 Live with Lee Sterry, and that's me. And now we look forward to being played off the stage, as I mentioned before, by the band James Blonde. And this is Delirium. You guys have a great weekend, all right?
Noticing signs of perpetual delirium. Sometimes if you wanna be fixed, well, you gotta get wrecked again. Who says two wrongs don't make a right? Well, I barely recovered from my latest bender. She's calling again and I'm gonna let her. Look around the room. Can you find me something that I can hold on to? Look around the room. Can you find me something? I'm spinning round, 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 round. Giving my magic ball a shake, and the outlook's not so good. I know how much I can take. Don't run away. Who says you don't have to go alone again? I'm told it's one thing I want and it's fucking disgusting. Excuse me, my pants just need readjusting. Look around the room. Can you find me something that I can hold on to? Look around the room. Can you find me something? I'm spinning round, round, round. I'm spinning round, round, round. Effervescence, blow a kiss goodbye to my presence. I'd be living a lie if I made any sense. I'd give it a try, but I'm far too dense. Look around the room. Can you find me something